The topic of our discourse is both simple and revolutionary. It's time to focus, conquer your mind. But I assure you, what we are about to explore goes far beyond mere concentration or mental discipline. We are delving into the very essence of reality itself. You see, my dear friends, your mind is not just a tool for processing information or solving problems. It is the very foundation of your reality. It is the canvas upon which the entire drama of your life unfolds. And it is time, yes, it is high time that you recognize this power and learn to wield it with intention and purpose. Now, when I speak of focus, I'm not referring to the strained attention that you might apply to a difficult task. No, the focus I speak of is a state of being, a deliberate directing of your consciousness towards that which you desire to make manifest in your world. It is the art of seeing your desires accomplished, of living in the end result, of experiencing now what you wish to experience and what you perceive as the future. This focus, this conquering of the mind, is the key to unlocking the infinite potential that lies dormant within you. For you see, my friends, your outer world is nothing more than a reflection of your inner world. The circumstances of your life, the events that unfold around you, the very fabric of your reality, all of these are projections of your own consciousness. Let us pause for a moment and truly contemplate this revolutionary idea. Can you grasp the magnitude of what I am saying? Your mind, your consciousness, is not merely observing reality. Every thought, every belief, every assumption you hold is shaping the world you experience. This is why it is crucial, absolutely vital, that you learn to focus your mind, to direct your consciousness with purpose and intention. Now, some of you may be thinking, but Neville, if my mind is creating my reality, why is my life not exactly as I wish it to be? My friends, this is where the true work begins. You see, most people go through life in a state of unconsciousness. Their minds are filled with doubts, fears, and limiting beliefs. And these mental states manifest as the very limitations they fear. But I am here to tell you that it doesn't have to be this way. You have the power to consciously create your reality, to shape your world according to your deepest desires. And the key to this power lies in your ability to focus, to conquer your mind. So, how do we begin this grand endeavor? How do we take control of our minds and, by extension, all reality? The first step, my dear friends, is to become aware of your thoughts, your mental habits, your deeply held beliefs. For you cannot change what you do not acknowledge. Begin by observing your inner dialogue. What stories do you tell yourself about who you are, what you're capable of, and what's possible for you? Are these stories empowering or limiting? Do they align with the reality you wish to create, or do they reinforce the very circumstances you wish to change? This awareness is the foundation of all change. For once you become conscious of your thoughts, you gain the power to choose new thoughts. And remember, my friends, thoughts are things. They're the building blocks of your reality. Choose them wisely. Once you have cultivated this awareness, the next step is to deliberately choose thoughts and mental images that align with your desires. This is where the true art of focus comes into play. You must learn to hold in your mind's eye a clear, vivid image of your desire fulfilled. You must learn to experience in your imagination the joy, the satisfaction, the sense of accomplishment that would be yours if your desire were already realized. This, my friends, is the secret of effective prayer. For prayer is not a pleading with some external power. It is not a beseeching of a distant deity. No, true prayer is the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It is the deliberate assumption of the state of consciousness you would occupy if your desire were already a fact in your world. Let me give you an example to illustrate this principle. Suppose you desire financial abundance. The common approach would be to focus on the lack of money, to worry about bills, to stress about how to make ends meet. But this focus only serves to perpetuate the very state of lack you wish to escape. Instead, I urge you to assume the feeling of wealth in your imagination. Feel the satisfaction of abundant bank accounts. Experience the joy of effortless bill payments. Live in your mind's eye the life of someone for whom financial abundance is a natural state of being. Do this with conviction, with the assurance that what you're imagining is not a mere fantasy, but a reality that is even now coming into being. You see, my friends, your imagination is not a place to escape reality. It is the very workshop in which reality is forged. What you habitually imagine, you will inevitably experience. This is why it is crucial to guard the gates of your mind, to be selective about the thoughts and images you entertain. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, this sounds like mere positive thinking. How can simply imagining something make it real? But you see, it is not mere positive thinking. It is an assumption of the reality of that which you desire. It is a complete identification with a state of consciousness that would be yours if your desire were already fulfilled. This is why I say it is time to focus, to conquer your mind. For in conquering your mind, you conquer your world. You must become the master of your inner kingdom, for it is from this kingdom that all outer circumstances arise. Let me share with you a powerful technique to aid you in this conquest. I call it the living in the end technique. Here's how it works before you go to sleep at night. Construct a scene in your imagination that implies the fulfillment of your desire. Make this scene as vivid and as real as possible. Engage all your senses. See the details, hear the sounds, feel the textures, smell the scents that would be present if your desire were realized. Now, enter into this scene. Don't just observe it as a spectator, but step into it as a participant. Feel the emotions you would feel if this were your current reality. Allow yourself to experience the joy, the satisfaction, the sense of accomplishment that would be yours. As you drift off to sleep, hold this scene in your mind. Let it be the last thing you think of before you enter the sleep state. You see, my friends, in the state of sleep, your conscious mind relaxes its hold, and your subconscious mind becomes more receptive. By impressing the scene upon your subconscious just before sleep, you are planting a seed that will grow into your future reality. Repeat this process night after night, and you will begin to see changes in your outer world. For remember, your outer world must conform to your inner assumptions. As within, so without. This is the law of your being, and it is infallible. Now, I want to address a concern that often arises when I share these teachings. Some of you may be thinking, but Neville, what about action? Surely we can't just imagine things and expect them to happen without any effort on our part. Let me be clear, action is indeed a part of the manifestation process, but it is inspired action. Action that flows naturally from your new state of consciousness. When you truly assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you live in the end in your imagination, you will find yourself naturally and effortlessly taking the actions that lead to the realization of your desire. You see, once you have changed your concept of self, once you have assumed the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, your actions will automatically align with this new self concept. You will find yourself doing things, saying things, making decisions that are in harmony with the reality you have imagined. And these inspired actions will be far more effective than any forced or strained efforts could ever be. This is why I say that the most important work is done in your imagination. For when you change your inner world, your outer world must change to match it. This is the law of your being, and it is absolute. Now let us delve deeper into the nature of focus and mind conquest. You see, my dear friends, your mind is like a garden. The thoughts you habitually think are the seeds you plant in this garden. And like any garden, what grows depends entirely on what you plant and how you tend to it. If you allow your mind to be filled with thoughts of lack, limitation, and fear, these are the seeds you are planting. And inevitably, these seeds will grow into the very circumstances you dread. But if you consciously choose to plant seeds of abundance, success, joy, and fulfillment, then these are the fruits your garden will bear. This is why conquering your mind is so crucial. It is not about forcing yourself to think positive thoughts. It's about becoming the conscious gardener of your own mind. It is about choosing, with deliberate intention, the thoughts and mental images you will entertain. It is about focusing your attention on that which you wish to make manifest in your life. Now, some of you may be wondering, but Neville, how can I maintain this focus? How can I keep my mind fixed on my desire when the current reality seems so different? This, my friends, is where the true test of your faith comes in. For you must have faith not in some external power, but in the power of your own imagination. You must understand that what you see in your outer world is nothing more than a shadow, the reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. It has no power to create your future unless you give it that power through your attention and belief. Your true power lies in your ability to imagine and feel a new reality into being. So, when your current circumstances seem to contradict your desired state, do not be dismayed. Instead, turn within. Close your physical eyes to the seeming reality of the outer world and open your inner eye to the reality you wish to experience. Feel of it, live it, know it to be true in the depths of your being. So I tell you truly, what you can imagine and feel is real. You can manifest it in your outer world. This, my dear friends, is the essence of focus. It is not about straining or struggling. It is about choosing where to place your attention, where to direct the power of your consciousness. And as you practice this art of focused imagination, you will find that it becomes easier and more natural. You will discover that you have the power to shift your state of consciousness at will, to assume any state you desire. Now let us speak of persistence, for it is a crucial element in this work of focusing and conquering the mind. You see, my friends, the beliefs and thought patterns that have shaped your current reality are deeply ingrained. They have been reinforced over years, perhaps even lifetimes. They will not be changed overnight, but do not let this discourage you. For every time you choose to focus on your desire, every time you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are weakening the old patterns and strengthening the new. You are literally reshaping the landscape of your mind and, by extension, the fabric of your reality. Think of it like carving a new path through a dense forest. The first time you walk this path, it may be difficult. You may encounter resistance, obstacles. But with each passing, the path becomes clearer, easier to traverse, and eventually becomes the natural way, the path of least resistance. So too with your mind. At first, holding the focus on your desire may feel challenging. The old thoughts, the old beliefs may try to reassert themselves. But with persistence, with faithful attention to the reality you wish to create, the new path becomes established. The new state of consciousness becomes your natural state of being. This is why I urge you to persist in your imaginal acts. Do not be discouraged if you do not see immediate results in your outer world. Remember, you are working at the causal level of reality. The outer world must reshape itself to match your inner assumptions, and this may take time in your physical experience. But I assure you, the law is infallible. What you persist in imagining and feeling is real must and will become your reality. This is not wishful thinking, my friends. This is the very law by which the universe operates. Now let us address another aspect of conquering the mind, the management of your emotional states. You see, my dear friends, your emotions are incredibly powerful. They are the fuel that gives life and power to your thoughts and imaginal acts. When you combine a clear mental image with a corresponding emotion, you create a potent force for manifestation. This is why it's not enough to simply visualize your desire. You must feel it. You must experience the emotion that would be yours if your desire were already fulfilled. If you desire wealth, feel the security, the freedom, the joy that wealth would bring. If you desire a loving relationship, feel the love, the companionship, the deep connection in every fiber of your being. If you desire perfect health, feel the vitality, the strength, the well-being coursing through your body. These emotions, combined with your mental images, create what I call feeling tones. And it is these feeling tones that shape your reality. For the universe responds not to your words or even your conscious thoughts, but to the sum total of your mental and emotional states. This is why conquering your mind also means mastering your emotions. It means cultivating the ability to generate and sustain the emotional states that correspond to your desires. And this, my friends, is a skill that can be developed with practice. One powerful technique for this is what I call living from the end. This involves not just imagining your desire is fulfilled, but actually living your day as if it were already a reality. Make decisions, interact with others, and carry yourself in a manner consistent with the person who already has what you desire. If you're seeking a promotion at work, Carry yourself with the confidence and authority of someone in that higher position. If you're manifesting improved health, move and act with the vitality and energy of a perfectly healthy person. If you're calling in your ideal partner, interact with others with the joy and openness of someone who is deeply in love. By doing this, you are not just imagining a new reality, you are embodying it. You are bringing it into being through your very way of being in the world. And as you do this, you will find that your outer world begins to shift and change to match this new state of consciousness. Now, I want to address a question that often arises when I share these teachings. Many ask, but Neville, what about other people? Can we use these techniques to change others or to make specific individuals act in certain ways? My friends, let me be clear on this point. The purpose of this work is not to control or manipulate others. It is to transform yourself, to realize the divine power within you. When you change yourself, when you assume a new state of consciousness, you will find that others naturally respond to you differently. You see, everyone in your world is yourself pushed out. They are reflections of your own consciousness. So, when you change your concept of yourself, when you assume a new state of being, the people in your world must change in their behavior towards you. Not because you are controlling them, but because they are responding to the new you. This is why I say that there is no one to change but self. There is no one to command but self. For when you conquer your own mind, when you assume the consciousness of your wish fulfilled, the entire world reshapes itself to match your new self concept. This understanding liberates you from the need to try to change others. It frees you from the frustration of attempting to manipulate external circumstances. Instead, it empowers you to focus on the one thing you have complete control over, your own state of consciousness. Now let us delve deeper into the mechanics of this process. How exactly does a change in your consciousness create change in your outer world? To understand this, we must explore the nature of time and the structure of reality itself. You see, my dear friends, time as you typically perceive it as a linear progression from past to present to future is an illusion. In truth, all time exists simultaneously. The past, present, and future are all occurring now, in this eternal moment of creation. What you perceive as the future is simply a state of consciousness that you have not yet assumed. And what you think of as the past is a state you have moved out of. But all states exist now, and you have the power to select and occupy any state you choose. This is why I often say that creation is finished. All possible states of being already exist. Your job is not to create these states, but to select and occupy them through the power of your imagination and feeling. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you occupy the state of consciousness of your desire realized, you are not creating something new. You are selecting and making real in your experience a state that already exists in the infinite sea of consciousness. This is why your imaginal acts are so powerful. When you imagine and feel your desire as real, you are literally stepping into that reality. You are aligning your consciousness with a version of reality where your desire is already fulfilled. And here's the truly miraculous part. Once you align your consciousness with this desired state, once you truly occupy it in your imagination and feeling, the outer world must reshape itself to match this inner reality. This is not magic or wishful thinking. It is the law of your being, as real, as reliable as the law of gravity. Now, I can hear some of you thinking, but Neville, this sounds too good to be true. Surely it can't be this simple. And to this, I say yes, it is that simple. But simple does not mean easy. It requires a complete revolution in your thinking, a total transformation of your concept of reality and your place in it. You must be willing to let go of your old beliefs about the nature of reality. You must be willing to release your attachment to current circumstances. You must be brave enough to imagine and feel a new reality into being, even when your senses tell you otherwise. This is why I say it's time to focus, to conquer your mind. For in this conquest lies your freedom, your power, your ability to shape your world according to your desire. As we draw our discussion to a close, I want to leave you with a final thought. The work we've explored today, this art of focused imagination, This conquest of the mind is not just about manifesting your desires. It is about awakening to your true nature. It is about realizing the divine power that resides within you. You see, my dear friends, you are not separate from the creative power of the universe. You are that power, individualized. Your imagination is not just a faculty of your mind. It is the very creative power of God operating in and through you. When you imagine, you are performing the divine act of creation. So, as you go forth from here, I urge you to claim this power. Use it wisely and lovingly. Remember that your mind is the garden in which the seeds of your future are planted. Tend it carefully. Focus your attention on that which you wish to make manifest. Conquer the doubts, the fears, the limiting beliefs that have held you back. Assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, and watch as your world transforms to match your inner state. And above all, persist. For in your persistence lies your power. The world may not change overnight, but I promise you this, as you maintain your focus, as you faithfully occupy the state of your wish fulfilled, your outer world must and will conform to your inner assumption. This is the law, and it cannot fail. Go now and create consciously, for the time has come to focus, to conquer your mind, and in so doing, to conquer your world. Let me ask you something that might shake your entire worldview. What if you've been approaching success completely backward? What if, instead of working to become victorious, you simply needed to assume the feeling of victory now? You see, most people live their entire lives waiting to feel victorious. They say, when I achieve this goal, then I'll feel like a winner. But I tell you this, you must feel like a winner first, and then the achievements will naturally follow. Consider this. Every great achievement in history began with someone who acted as though they had already won before any physical evidence existed. They carried themselves with the confidence of victory, while others saw only defeat. Let me share something profound with you about the nature of victory. Victory isn't an event, it's a state of consciousness. When you truly grasp this, your entire world will transform. You see, most people are waiting for circumstances to make them feel victorious. But I tell you this, circumstances don't create your feelings. Your feelings create circumstances. Think about how you carry yourself when you know you've won something. There's a certain swagger in your step, a gleam in your eye, a confidence in your voice. This is the state you must adopt now, before any external evidence exists. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about your goals, your dreams, your aspirations. But I tell you this, as long as you see these things as future achievements, they will remain in the future. You must live from the end. Consider what happens when you truly adopt the attitude of someone who has already won. Your entire world must reshape itself to match this new self-concept. This is law. Let me share with you what happens in consciousness when you assume the feeling of victory. Your entire being shifts. Your posture changes. Your voice carries new authority. Your decisions come from a place of confidence rather than fear. Let me tell you something profound about this victorious attitude. When you truly embody it, you're not pretending. You're claiming your natural state. Victory is not something foreign to you. It's your inherent nature. You see, most people approach life from a position of hoping to win. But I tell you this, hope is just another form of doubt. When you know you've already won, there's no need for hope, because certainty has replaced it. Consider how differently you move through the world when you know the game is already won. You don't stress about small setbacks. You don't worry about temporary obstacles. You move with the calm confidence of someone who knows the final outcome. Let me share with you what happens when you maintain this victorious consciousness consistently. People begin responding to you differently. Opportunities seemingly appear out of nowhere. Doors that were closed suddenly open. Most of you have been taught to wait for victory to feel victorious. But I tell you this, that's exactly backward. You must feel victorious first, and then victory will manifest in your world. You see, this attitude of victory isn't about arrogance or ego. It's about aligning yourself with your true nature. When you act like you've already won, you're simply acknowledging what's already true in consciousness. Think about how you breathe when you're victorious. It's deep, it's confident, it's relaxed. This is how you should be breathing right now, regardless of current circumstances. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs when you maintain this state. Your decisions change because you're no longer operating from a place of fear or lack. You make choices as someone who knows they cannot fail. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about past failures, current struggles, and future uncertainties. But I tell you this, all these are irrelevant when you adopt the consciousness of victory. Consider this: every time you doubt, every time you worry, every time you fear, you're denying your victorious nature. You're choosing to act from a consciousness of defeat rather than victory. Let me share with you what happens in the depths of your being when you truly embrace this victorious attitude. Your entire nervous system begins to operate differently. Your body language changes automatically. Your voice carries a new resonance. You see, most people are waiting for something external to give them permission to feel victorious. But I tell you this, the only permission you need is your own decision to embody victory now. Consider what happens when you walk into a room knowing you've already won. Not hoping, not wishing, not planning to win, but knowing with absolute certainty that victory is already yours. The entire atmosphere changes. Let me tell you about the subtle shift that occurs in your relationships when you maintain this victorious consciousness. People begin treating you according to your own self-concept. They respond not to your words, but to the victory you radiate. Most of you have spent years rehearsing defeat in your mind, imagining worst-case scenarios, preparing for failure. But I tell you this, every time you do this, you're denying your victorious nature. You see, this attitude of victory transforms even the smallest actions of your day. When you know you've already won, even the way you sit, your morning coffee changes. Everything becomes an expression of victory. Think about how you make decisions when you know you cannot fail. You move with boldness, with certainty, with absolute conviction. This is how you should be moving through every moment of your life. Let me share with you what happens when this victorious consciousness becomes your natural state. You stop asking, "What if I fail?" Because failure becomes impossible in your consciousness. You only see paths to victory. Most of you have been conditioned to believe that victory must be earned through struggle and hardship. But I tell you, this victory is your natural state. The struggle comes from resisting this truth. Consider how your entire world must reshape itself when you maintain this consciousness consistently. Everything that doesn't align with your victorious nature must fall away. When you truly embody victory, you're not just changing your mindset, you're altering the very fabric of your reality. You see, most people spend their lives preparing for victory, planning for victory, hoping for victory. But I tell you this, all of that preparation is useless if you don't assume the feeling of victory now. Consider what happens when you wake up each morning already feeling victorious. Your morning routine becomes a victory lap, not a preparation for battle. Your breakfast isn't fuel for the fight. It's a celebration of success. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs in your work when you maintain this consciousness. Tasks that once seemed daunting become opportunities to express your victorious nature. Challenges become stages for your triumph. Most of you have been taught that confidence comes after achievement. But I tell you, this achievement comes after confidence. When you act like you've already won, success becomes inevitable. You see, this victorious attitude completely transforms how you handle setbacks. When you know you've already won, obstacles become merely temporary illusions, stepping stones to your already secured victory. Think about how differently you approach problems when you know the solution is guaranteed. The stress dissolves, the anxiety vanishes. All that remains is the calm certainty of inevitable success. Let me share with you what happens when you maintain this state consistently. Your entire being begins to radiate victory. People feel it when you enter a room. Opportunities are naturally drawn to you. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about all the things you need to do to become victorious. But I tell you this, victory isn't something you become, it's something you express right now. Consider this, every time you postpone feeling victorious until some future achievement, you're pushing victory away. Victory must be claimed in the present moment. Let me share with you a deeper truth about this victorious attitude that will revolutionize your understanding. When you act like you've already won, you're not pretending you're aligning with an existing reality in consciousness. You see, most people approach victory as something distant, something to be achieved through struggle and effort. But I tell you this, victory exists right now in your consciousness, waiting to be recognized and expressed. Consider what happens in your financial world when you maintain this victorious consciousness. Money ceases to be something you chase and becomes something naturally drawn to your victorious state. Success becomes your natural expression. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs in your physical energy when you embody this attitude. Fatigue disappears because you're no longer fighting against life. You're flowing with your natural victorious state. Most of you have been taught that victory requires sacrifice, struggle, and pain. But I tell you this, those are just stories you've accepted. Victory is your natural state, requiring no struggle at all. You see, this victorious attitude completely transforms your relationship with time. When you know you've already won, you stop rushing. You move with the confident pace of someone who knows their triumph is secure. Think about how you breathe when you know you've already won. It's deep, relaxed, confident. This is your natural breath when you're aligned with victory. Adopt this breath now. Let me share with you what happens when this victorious consciousness becomes your default state. Your dreams no longer seem distant or impossible. They become natural expressions of your victorious nature. Most of you sit here tonight wanting to know the exact steps to victory. But I tell you this, there are no steps to what you already are. There is only recognition and expression. Consider this, every time you doubt yourself, every time you feel uncertain, you're temporarily forgetting your victorious nature. These moments of doubt are simply opportunities to reclaim your true state. Let me reveal to you something profound about acting victorious that most will never grasp. When you embody victory in every moment, you're not just changing your behavior. You're awakening to your true identity. You see, most people treat victory like a distant destination, something to reach after long journeys of effort. But I tell you this, victory is your starting point, not your destination. You begin from victory, not journey toward it. Consider what happens in your mind when you truly grasp this truth. The endless chatter of doubt falls silent. The constant questioning of, am I good enough, disappears. All that remains is the quiet confidence of victory. Let me tell you about the shift that occurs in your physical presence when you maintain this consciousness. Your posture naturally straightens. Your movements become more graceful. Your entire being radiates an unmistakable authority. Most of you have spent years trying to overcome fear, doubt, and insecurity. But I tell you this, you don't overcome these things. You simply outgrow them by maintaining the consciousness of victory. You see, this victorious attitude transforms every interaction in your life. When you know you've already won, conversations change. Meetings change. Relationships change. Everything must align with your victorious nature. Think about how you make decisions when you know success is guaranteed. There's no hesitation, no second guessing, no fear of consequences. This is your natural state of being. Let me share with you what happens when you maintain the state consistently. Your entire world begins to mirror your victorious consciousness. Opportunities that once seemed impossible become natural occurrences. Most of you live constantly preparing for future success, future victory, future achievement. But I tell you this, as long as you place victory in the future, that's where it will remain. Consider this. Every moment you spend doubting your victory is a moment spent denying your true nature, your victory itself, expressing itself through your unique form. Let me share with you a truth so profound, it will transform your entire approach to life. When you act victorious, you're not just putting on a show. You're tuning into the frequency of your natural state. You see, most people spend their lives reacting to circumstances, letting external events determine their inner state. But I tell you this, when you maintain the consciousness of victory, circumstances must conform to your inner state. Consider what happens to your creative abilities when you operate from this victorious consciousness. Ideas flow effortlessly. Solutions appear spontaneously. Innovation becomes your natural expression. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs in your sleep when you maintain this victorious state. Your rest becomes deeper, more rejuvenating, because you're no longer battling with doubt and uncertainty. Most of you have been taught to be realistic about your expectations. But I tell you this, what's realistic to the victorious consciousness far exceeds what's realistic to the consciousness of limitation. You see, this victorious attitude completely revolutionizes how you handle challenges. When you know you've already won, obstacles become opportunities to demonstrate your mastery. Think about how you speak when you know victory is certain. Your words carry authority. Your voice resonates with conviction. And your communication inspires confidence in others. Let me share with you what happens when this victorious consciousness becomes your constant companion. Your very presence becomes a catalyst for positive change in others. Your victory inspires their victory. Most of you sit here tonight thinking about all the reasons why victory might not be possible. But I tell you this, those reasons exist only in a consciousness that has forgotten its true nature. Consider this: every time you embrace limitation, every time you accept defeat, you're choosing to temporarily forget who you really are. Victory is not something you achieve, it's something you remember. Let me reveal to you something about victory that will forever change how you approach every moment of your life. When you act victorious, you're not just changing your behavior, you're acknowledging your innermost truth. You see, most people chase success like hungry wolves chasing prey. But I tell you this, when you embody victory, success chases you. It becomes the natural expression of your being. Consider what happens in your body when you maintain this victorious consciousness. Your immune system strengthens. Your energy increases. Your entire physical being aligns with this elevated state. Let me tell you about the transformation that occurs in your daily habits when you live from this state. Activities that once felt like obligations become celebrations of your victory. Work becomes play. Challenges become adventures. Most of you have been programmed to believe that confidence must come after achievement. But I tell you this, achievement is merely the outer confirmation of the victory you've already claimed in consciousness. You see, this victorious attitude completely transforms your perception of time. Past failures lose their sting because you realize they were simply stepping stones to your current victory. Think about how you walk when you know you're victorious. Your stride lengthens. Your steps become purposeful. Your entire movement expresses the certainty of success. Let me share with you what happens when this victorious consciousness becomes your moment. To moment reality, synchronicities increase. Favorable circumstances multiply. Life itself seems to conspire for your success. Most of you have spent years building defenses against failure. But I tell you this, when you maintain the consciousness of victory, there's nothing to defend against. Victory is your natural state. Consider this: every anxious thought, every worried moment, every fearful anticipation is simply a temporary forgetting of your victorious nature. Return to victory now. Let me share with you the final and most crucial understanding about victory that will complete your transformation. When you maintain the consciousness of victory, you're not becoming something new. You're returning to your original state. You see, most people spend their lives seeking validation from the outer world. But I tell you this, all validation, all confirmation, all proof of your victory must first be established in consciousness. Consider what happens when you move through your entire day from this victorious state. Meetings become opportunities to express your mastery. Challenges become platforms for demonstrating your power. Every moment becomes a celebration of victory. Let me tell you about the final piece of this transformation. When you truly grasp that you've already won, all struggle ceases, all fighting ends, all resistance dissolves. What remains is pure, effortless expression of victory. From this moment forward, I want you to make this sacred commitment to yourself. Promise that you will never again act from a consciousness of defeat. Promise that you will maintain this victorious attitude regardless of appearances. You see, this is the moment where everything changes. This is where you stop seeking victory and start expressing it. This is where you cease struggling to become victorious and simply be victory itself. Think about tomorrow morning when you wake up. Will you rise as the same person who started listening to this message? Or will you rise as victory itself, ready to express your true nature? Let me share with you this final truth. There is no power that can defeat you except your own acceptance of defeat. When you maintain the consciousness of victory, the entire universe must rearrange itself to match your conviction. This is your moment. This is your victory. This is your true nature pressing itself through you. Rise up now, not as someone seeking victory, but as victory itself. Move forward, not as someone hoping to win, but as someone who's already won. Live not as someone becoming victorious, but as victory personified. For in this recognition lies your freedom. In this understanding lies your power. In this knowing lies everything you have ever desired. Go forth now with the absolute certainty that victory is not your destination. It is your starting point. It is not your goal, it is your nature. It is not your future, it is your eternal now. Let every breath you take be a breath of victory. Let every step you take be a step of triumph. Let every word you speak be a declaration of success for you and victory itself expressing itself through your unique form. You have always been victory. You will always be victory. This is your final understanding. This is your ultimate truth. This is your eternal knowing you are victory itself. And so it is. Rise now and live from this truth. The world is waiting for your victory to express itself. The end is where we begin, for victory was never something to achieve. It was always something to express. Express it now. Express it always. This is your victory. This is your moment. This is your truth now and always. Victory is yours. I want you to listen carefully, for what I am about to share with you is of utmost importance. It is the key that unlocks the door to your wildest dreams. The bridge that spans the chasm between your current reality and the life you've always imagined. Are you ready to embark on this transformative journey? Are you prepared to witness the miraculous unfoldment of your desires? Then let us begin. First and foremost, we must understand that the world we perceive with our physical senses is but a shadow, a reflection of a greater reality that exists within us. This inner world, this realm of imagination, is the true source of all that we experience in our outer world. It is the workshop wherein we craft our destinies, the sacred space where we commune with the divine. Consider, for a moment, the nature of your desires. What is it that you truly want? Is it wealth beyond measure, perfect health, a loving relationship, or a fulfilling career? Whatever it may be, I want you to know that it already exists within you. Yes, you heard me correctly. Everything you want, everything you've ever dreamed of is already a part of you, waiting to be recognized, waiting to be brought forth into expression. You see, my dear friends, we live in an infinite universe of possibilities. Every conceivable state, every potential experience already exists in what I call the dimensionally larger world, of which we are all a part. Your task, then, is not to create these desires anew, but to select them, to choose them from the infinite array of possibilities that surround you at every moment. But how, you may ask, do we make this selection? How do we bring forth our desires from the realm of potential into the world of actuality? The answer, my friends, lies in the power of your imagination. For it is through the faculty of imagination that we connect with the dimensionally larger world, that we tap into the infinite reservoir of all possibilities. Imagination, you see, is not some frivolous faculty meant only for children and artists. No, imagination is the very substance of reality. It is, as William Blake so eloquently put it, the real and eternal world of which this vegetable universe is but a faint shadow. When you imagine, you are engaging in the highest form of creative activity. You are literally shaping the substance of your reality. Now, let us delve deeper into the mechanics of this process. When I say that everything you want is about to appear all at once, I am not speaking metaphorically. I am describing a literal truth about the nature of manifestation. You see, in the realm of imagination, in the dimensionally larger world, there is no time as we understand it in our physical experience. All possibilities exist simultaneously, eternally present in what we might call a divine now. When you imagine your desire fulfilled, when you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are not creating something new. Rather, you are selecting a state, a version of reality that already exists. You are tuning your consciousness to a particular frequency, aligning yourself with a specific possibility from the infinite array that surrounds you. This is why I often speak of the importance of living in the end. By this, I mean that you must assume the consciousness, the feeling, the inner conviction of already being or having that which you desire. For in truth, in the realm of imagination, you already are and have everything you could ever want. Your task is simply to align your consciousness with this truth. Let me give you an example to illustrate this point. Suppose you desire financial abundance. Instead of focusing on your current lack, on the bills that need to be paid, or the debts that weigh upon you, I urge you to assume the feeling of already being financially free. Feel the relief, the joy, the sense of security that comes with having more than enough. Live from that state. Make it your new reality in imagination. As you do this, as you persist in this assumption, you will begin to notice changes in your outer world. Opportunities will arise, unexpected sources of income will appear, and your entire financial situation will begin to shift. And here's the crucial point. These changes are not caused by your imaginal act. Rather, they are the outer manifestation, the shadow of the shift that has already occurred within you. This is what I mean when I say that everything you want is about to appear all at once. In the moment that you truly assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, in the instant that you align your consciousness with the desired state, you have already received it. The outer manifestation is simply catching up to the inner reality you have chosen. Now, I can sense that some of you may be skeptical. You may be thinking, but Wayne, I've tried visualization. I've tried positive thinking, and nothing has changed. To this, I say, examine carefully the nature of your imaginal acts. Are you truly living from the end? Are you fully embodying the state of your wish fulfilled? Or are you simply wishing, hoping, yearning for a change? You see, there is a world of difference between mere wishing and the kind of imaginative act I am describing. Wishing implies lack. It reinforces the absence of your desire. But when you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you live from the end, you are acknowledging the presence of your desire. You are aligning with this reality. Moreover, you must persist in your assumption. The Bible tells us to pray without ceasing, and this is what is meant by that instruction. Your prayer is not a verbal petition to some external deity. Your prayer is the feeling, the inner conviction of already being or having that which you desire. And you must hold to this feeling, this conviction, regardless of any apparent contradictions in your outer world. This brings us to another crucial point, the importance of detachment. When I say that everything you want is about to appear all at once, I do not mean that you should anxiously await its arrival, constantly checking to see if it has manifested. Such behavior only reinforces the sense of lack, a feeling of not yet having your desire. Instead, you must cultivate a sense of calm certainty, a quiet confidence that your desire is already yours. This is what is meant by the biblical injunction to be still and know that I am God. God is in the stillness of your imagination, in the quiet certainty of your assumption. You are God in the act of creation. Let us explore this concept further. When you truly understand that everything you want is about to appear all at once, you will find that your entire relationship with desire changes. No longer will you be consumed by anxious longing, by the feeling of lack or want. Instead, you will experience a profound sense of fulfillment, a deep inner peace that comes from knowing that all is well, that all your desires are already realized in the realm of imagination. This shift in consciousness is transformative. It liberates you from the tyranny of external circumstances, from the ups and downs of worldly events. For when you know that everything you want is about to appear all at once, when you live from this truth, you become impervious to disappointment, immune to discouragement. Consider, for a moment, how this understanding might change your daily life. Imagine waking up each morning with the unshackable conviction that this day holds infinite possibilities, that everything you've ever wanted is on the verge of manifestation. How would you move through your day? How would you interact with others? How would you respond to challenges? You would, I submit, move through your day with grace and ease, with a sense of joyful anticipation. You would interact with others from a place of abundance, of generosity, knowing that your good is assured. You would face challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for growth, as stepping stones on the path to your desired end. This, my friends, is the true power of living from the end, of assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. It is not merely a technique for manifesting specific desires, though it certainly can be used for that purpose. More fundamentally, it is a way of being in the world, a state of consciousness that aligns you with the creative power of the universe itself. Now, some of you may be wondering about the mechanics of this process. How? You might ask, does our inner state affect our outer reality? The answer lies in the nature of consciousness itself. You see, consciousness is the only reality. The world you perceive with your physical senses is not separate from you. It is an extension of your consciousness, a projection of your consciousness. This is why I often say that there is no such thing as an external cause. All causes are mental. Your outer world, your experiences, your circumstances, all are reflections of your inner state. When you change your inner state, when you assume a new state of consciousness, your outer world must change to reflect this new inner reality. This is not magic. Though it may seem magical to those who do not understand the law, it is simply the way the universe operates. It is the law of consciousness, the fundamental principle underlying all creation. And it is this law that ensures that everything you want is about to appear all at once. But let us be clear. When I say that everything is about to appear all at once, I do not necessarily mean that all your desires will manifest simultaneously in your physical reality. The timing and manner of the outer manifestation are not for you to determine. Your task is simply to maintain the inner state, to live from the end, to persist in the assumption that your desire is already fulfilled. The outer manifestation will take care of itself. It will unfold in perfect timing in a way that is in harmony with the totality of your being and the greater good of all. Your job is not to manipulate external circumstances, but to maintain the inner conviction, the feeling of the wish fulfilled. This brings us to another important point, the role of action in this process. Some may interpret this teaching as an invitation to passivity, as suggesting that we need not take any action in the physical world. This is a misunderstanding. Action is a vital part of the creative process, but it must be inspired action that flows naturally from your assumed state. When you truly live from the end, when you fully embody the state of your wish fulfilled, you will find yourself naturally inspired to take the right actions. These actions will not feel like effort or struggle. They will feel natural. Effortless, as if you are being guided by an invisible hand. This is because, in a very real sense, you are being guided. By assuming the state of your wish fulfilled, you are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. You are tapping into a wisdom that far exceeds your limited conscious mind. And this wisdom will guide you, will inspire you to take the perfect actions to bring about the manifestation of your desire. So do not worry about what you should do or how you should do it. Focus instead on maintaining the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Live from that state, and the right actions will present themselves to you at the perfect time. This is the true meaning of seeking first the kingdom. Prioritize in the inner state over external actions. Now, I want to address a question that often arises when I discuss these principles. Some may ask, but Wayne, what about the desires of others? What if what I want conflicts with what someone else wants? This is a natural concern, but it arises from a misunderstanding of the nature of consciousness and creation. In the dimensionally larger world, in the realm of pure possibility, there is no conflict. All desires can be fulfilled. All states can be realized without impinging on the desires or states of others. It is only in our limited physical perception that we experience conflict and scarcity. When you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you live from the end, you are not taking anything away from anyone else. You are simply aligning yourself with a version of reality where your desire is fulfilled. And in that reality, in that state, everyone else's desires are fulfilled as well, in a way that is in perfect harmony with the whole. This is why I often say that there is no competition in the kingdom of God. In the realm of imagination, in the dimensionally larger world, there is infinite abundance. There is more than enough for everyone. Your good does not come at the expense of another's good. In fact, as you realize your desires, as you manifest your good, you are contributing to the good of all. So do not hesitate to imagine freely, to assume the state of your wish fulfilled, regardless of how it might appear to affect others. Trust in the wisdom of the universe, in the perfect outworking of the law. Know that as you align yourself with your desires, you are aligning yourself with the highest good for all concerned. This understanding liberates you from guilt, from the fear of being selfish or greedy. It allows you to desire boldly, to imagine grandly, knowing that your good is part of the greater good, that your fulfillment contributes to the fulfillment of all. Now let us delve even deeper into the mechanics of manifestation. When I say that everything you want is about to appear all at once, I am pointing to a fundamental truth about the nature of time and consciousness. You see, in the realm of imagination, in the dimensionally larger world, there is no time as we understand it in our physical experience. All states, all possibilities exist simultaneously in what we might call an eternal now. When you imagine your desire fulfilled, when you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are not creating something new in the future. You are selecting a state that already exists. You are tuning your consciousness to a reality that is already present in the eternal now. This is why the feeling is so crucial. The feeling is the secret, the bridge between the world of imagination and the world of physical experience. When you capture the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you embody the state of having or being what you desire, you are literally stepping into that reality. You are aligning your consciousness with the version of you who already has what you want. And here's the miraculous part: the moment you do this, the moment you truly capture that feeling and hold to it, everything begins to shift. The entire universe reconfigures itself to match your new inner state. This is not a metaphor or poetic license. It is a literal description of how reality operates. Your outer world, you see, is nothing more than a shadow, a reflection of your inner state. As you change your inner state, as you assume a new state of consciousness, your outer world must change to reflect this new reality. It has no choice. It is simply following the law of consciousness, the fundamental principle that underlies all creation. This is why persistence is so crucial. When you first assume a new state, when you first capture the feeling of the wish fulfilled, Your outer world may not immediately reflect this change. This is because there is often a time lag between the inner shift and its outer manifestation. During this period, it may seem as if nothing is happening. The temptation may be to give up, to conclude that it's not working. But this is precisely when you must hold fast to your assumption, when you must persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Remember, the outer world is catching up to your new inner reality. Everything is in motion, everything is shifting to align with your new state. But this rearrangement takes time in our physical experience. Your task is to maintain your new state regardless of any apparent contradictions in your outer world. This is what is meant by living by faith. Faith, in this context, is not blind belief in something unseen. It is the evidence of things not seen with the physical eye, but perceived clearly with the eye of imagination. It is the unwavering conviction that what you have imagined, what you have assumed in consciousness, is already a reality. As you persist in this faith, as you hold fast to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you will begin to notice changes in your outer world. At first, these changes may be subtle. You might notice small synchronicities, seemingly chance encounters, or events that align with your desire. These are signs that the law is working, that the universe is responding to your new state. As you continue to persist, these changes will become more pronounced. Opportunities will arise, circumstances will shift, and people will enter or exit your life, all in perfect alignment with your assumed state. And then, often when you least expect it, your desire will manifest fully in your physical reality. This is what I mean when I say that everything you want is about to appear all at once. In the moment that you truly assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, in the instant that you align your consciousness with the desired state, you have already received it. The manifestation is simply catching up to the inner reality you have chosen. Now, I want to address a common misconception about this process. Some may interpret this teaching as suggesting that we can manipulate reality to our whims, that we can force the universe to give us whatever we want. This is a misunderstanding of the law. You see, the law of consciousness is not about imposing your will on the universe. It's about aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. It's about recognizing your oneness with the source of all creation and allowing that power to express itself through you. When you imagine your desire fulfilled, when you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you are not forcing anything. You are simply choosing a state, selecting a version of reality that already exists in the dimensionally larger world. You are aligning your consciousness with a particular possibility from the infinite array that surrounds you. This alignment is not an act of force or will. It is an act of surrender, of allowing. You are surrendering your limited personal will to the greater will of your divine self, your true self, that is one with the creative power of the universe. This is why the state of relaxation is so important in this work. When you are relaxed, when you are in a state of allowing, you open yourself to the infinite possibilities that surround you. You become receptive to the guidance of your higher self, to the wisdom of the universe. So, as you imagine your desire fulfilled, as you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, do so with a sense of ease and relaxation. Don't strain, don't force. Simply allow yourself to sink into the feeling, to become one with the state you desire. This state of relaxed allowance is the fertile soil in which your desires take root and grow. It is the state in which miracles occur, in which the seemingly impossible becomes possible. It is the state in which everything you want appears all at once. Now, let us consider another aspect of this principle. When I say that everything you want is about to appear all at once, I am not just referring to material desires or external circumstances. This principle applies equally inner states, to qualities of being, to ways of experiencing the world. Perhaps what you truly want is not a specific thing or circumstance, but a state of being. Perhaps you want to experience more love, more joy, more peace in your life. The principle remains the same. Assume the feeling of being loving, joyful, peaceful. Live from that state. Embody it fully in your imagination. As you do this, as you persist in this assumption, you will find that your entire experience of life begins to shift. You will attract experiences, people, circumstances that reflect and reinforce your assumed state. You will begin to see the world through new eyes, to experience reality in a new way. This is the true power of imagination. It is not just about manifesting external things or circumstances. It is about shaping your entire experience of reality, about choosing the state of consciousness from which you live your life. And here's a profound truth. As you elevate your state of consciousness, as you align yourself with higher states of being, you naturally attract experiences that match that state. The things and circumstances you once desired may manifest, but you may find that they no longer hold the same importance for you. This is because you have aligned yourself with something greater than mere material possessions or external circumstances. You have aligned yourself with the creative power of the universe itself. You have recognized your true nature as a divine being, capable of shaping reality through the power of your imagination. This recognition, this alignment with your true self, is the ultimate goal of all desire. It is the state of consciousness in which everything you want appears all at once, because you recognize that you already are everything you could ever want to be. In this state, desire itself is transformed. No longer do you desire from a place of lack or want. Instead, your desires become expressions of your divine nature, ways of bringing more love, more joy, more beauty to the world. Your life becomes a constant act of creation, a continuous unfoldment of infinite possibilities. This, my dear friends, is the promise and the potential that lies within each of you. It is the birthright of every human, being the true purpose of our existence. We are here to recognize our divine nature, to align ourselves with the creative power of the universe, and to express that power through our imagination. As you live here today, I urge you to carry this truth with you. Remember that everything you want is about to appear all at once, not because you are going to receive something you lack, but because you are about to recognize what you already are, what you already have, live from this truth. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled in every moment. Persist in your assumption, regardless of any apparent contradictions in your outer world. Know that when you do this, you are aligning yourself with the creative power of the universe. You are stepping into your true identity as a divine being. And as you do this, watch in awe as your world transforms. As everything you've ever wanted begins to appear in your experience, not as something separate from you, but as a natural expression of who you truly are. Remember, the kingdom of heaven is within you. Everything you could ever want or need already exists within you. Your task is simply to recognize this truth, to live from it, to express it in your daily life. So go forth with confidence, with joy, with the unshakable knowing that everything you want is about to appear all at once. For in truth, it already has. You simply need to open your eyes, adjust your vision, and see the miraculous reality that surrounds you at every moment. This, my friends, is the promise and the power of your imagination. This is the truth of who you are and what you are capable of. Embrace it fully. Live from it completely. And watch in awe as your life becomes a living testament to the creative power that resides within you. Thank you for your attention, for your openness to these truths. May you go forth and create miracles in your life and in the world around you. For you are the miracle. You are the power. You are the divine expressing itself in human form. Everything you want is about to appear all at once. because you are about to recognize that you already are everything you could ever want to be.